Hey, what's up, you guys? So today I was a little shocked to have stumbled upon this one video that I had no idea such a content could exist. But then again, in the world of the internet, nothing is really a surprise for me anymore. But some stuff can shock me from time to time. And basically, I was watching a video. I forget what it was about, but I was watching a video, and then somehow it was recommended to me that I watched a video that I linked in the description. And boy, was that something else. It was an experience that I cannot even tell you what my initial impression was, because all I remember was my jaw was kind of dropped, and I just could not believe that I had just listened to what I had listened to, and I had just read what I had or heard what I just heard. So what I decided to do was take some notes on it, and I will go ahead and express my opinion on each and every single one of the points that were listed on this video. And so the name of this user was Veggie or something. Um, and she is a lady who, because this video is about, the issue of weight and all that, I'm going to go ahead and describe her. She is a person who clearly is on the bigger size. That's all that I want to say. I don't like to talk about people's appearances like that, but just so you know, she's bigger than me. That's all that I have to say. So, and that this video is pretty much to indicate that it is rude or bad for you to specify that you would like a cake slice that is smaller. And the way she opens up the video is she calls herself an award-winning fat activist. And I'm like, okay. Um, I didn't know that there was such thing as an award for that, but I'm guessing that's just her kind of humor. But when I hear that, I can already sense that at some point in the video it's going to turn pretty condescending, or even dwell on the aspect of passive aggression. And to me, those things can be so unhealthy, and it's just a shame that that's the way people communicate these days, but or try to illustrate a point. But then she also came up with this mnemonic, or is that the term for when you use initials for something? Anyways, um, she abbreviated something and called it CRFI. And what that stands for is cake related fat phobic incident. And I'm like, what? What is that about? So basically, to sum that up, it's when when you express that you would like a smaller slice of cake, it's a complete incident. And it's also trying to say that you asking for a smaller slice is fat phobic. And then she proceeds to break it down, and that's where I started taking my notes. And basically, the way she illustrated is you are ruining everything by asking for a smaller piece of cake. And then my immediate reaction to that was, what is wrong with someone saying that it is large and they would like it smaller? Maybe they just, before you had the cake, you probably were eating something. You were having some kind of dinner, some kind of lunch. What if you're almost full? And you know your body, so you know how much of this cake you can handle to ingest. And some people may be sugar conscious. You don't know if this person is diabetic. What if this can trigger them? What if they know exactly what kind of slice they can have so that they don't have a diabetic incident? That stuff is important. You cannot assume that everyone in the room can handle the entirety of the diet that is present in the room without any kind of restriction. That's actually pretty dangerous. And you don't know if this person is allergic. They may be allergic to milk or eggs, and they may, in a case like that, you did say that you don't mind if they just straight up refuse it. The issue here is asking for a smaller slice. But some people have intolerances. For instance, I have an intolerance for gluten. So I know that I can pretty dangerously, like, I can reach a dangerous level if I consume too much gluten. I am not allergic to gluten. I have an intolerance to gluten. There is a difference. If I were allergic, it could send me to the hospital, and I could be, a whole nother kind of emergency. But being intolerant means that I can have reactions, like my stomach gets a little upset if I abuse it, my skin also gets irritated if I abuse it. But because I know the degree of my intolerance, that's why I know to only have limited numbers of breads, limited numbers of pasta, like my pasta serving. If I eat, if I make pasta, I make a plan for it. I plan my meals due to my physical conditions. There is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing offensive about that. So if I see a cake, I would be compelled to limit its size as well, because I personally, as an individual, I have fitness goals, and not only that, but I'm also trying to control my sugar, given that diabetes is a very real present thing in my family. And I am in the perfect age to be taking care of my health so that when I get older, I do not have to struggle so much. That is called being responsible. It's not that I want to ruin the party or try to say that I'm better than everyone else who's present because I'm opting for a smaller slice. It's just that as an individual, I want to participate in the dessert aspect of it, but I need to have some limitations, some moderations. Nothing wrong with that. And then um, another thing is that, say that you have one cake and it does not really fit everyone when it comes to the portion size. If you have one cake and you have 20 people, what if you run out of cake? What if the person is conscious and they're like, you know what? I'm not going to eat that big piece that you want to give me that's generous and I appreciate it, but I would like a smaller slice because I know that I am not going to eat all of it. That is called not wasting food. And I respect people like that. I do not like to waste food. So it would be great if everyone treated stuff with respect, especially food, because I know a lot of people, for instance, who when they buy a salad and they take dressing, they don't use all of the dressing, and you end up throwing that away. You don't think about it, but each and every single day that you throw that dressing away, eventually you're going to fill up a whole container that you just wasted because you decided to not measure just how much dressing you're going to use. And you just went cocky about it because you're not paying for it. So you think it's okay to waste it. For me, it's not okay that I'm being given cake and therefore I don't have to feel compelled to eat it all and it can go to waste. No, I like to respect food. And if you respect food, I feel like the food is going to respect you too. Because for me, it's like if you're not going to serve something with love or cook something with love, that can affect you. I'm a very spiritual person, and I feel that on the days that I'm happy, I have better experiences with food, and on the days that I'm upset or something, my body absolutely makes me suffer for it. So I have my own views on the world, and it revolves a lot on being spiritual. So, no, lady, it's not that someone is trying to ruin that cake event. It's just that people are different. That's it. And don't be offended. To me, it sounded like this person has a lot of insecurity because clearly, when you do not fit a certain body image, stuff is assumed about you. Of course, people are going to think that you live a life in excess or something. And I think that's wrong because you may not know if people have a medical condition. You may have a medical condition that we don't know about. But from the sound of this particular video, it sounds like you do not have discipline and control and you don't make good decisions, and a lot of the times your body is a result of your choices. So to me, it sounds like you want for us to accept you because you do not have enough discipline to fulfill your goal of being in shape. But anyways, that's just my opinion. I do not know this person to be able to just say that as if I'm saying the truth. That's just what I suspect may be happening from her attitude throughout the video. And then she also proceeded to call it extra labor to accommodate the request of the slice being too big. And she was like, she had other females lined up and being exaggerated about it. Like one of them was describing it as, can you like do like half of that half or something? And then the other one was, could you like cut it up into smaller pieces, 12 of them, so that I can have one bite for every single month of the year? Nobody ever says that. So maybe you're just trying to throw some humor, maybe you're trying to be sarcastic, but if you are really, really confident about the point that you're trying to make, you would not say such a thing. You would not really express it in that manner. To me, I think she was really trying to be just humorous more than anything, but to have had all those ladies saying that and they all fit her mold of being bigger in size, to me that just sounds like they want to put words in the mouths of the people who actually want to be conscious and they have um, a better discipline when it comes to eating portions. Eating portions is important. That's the reason why a lot of people get in trouble with their physical shape and their health because you think that, say, when it comes to fruits, you think that because it's fruit, it's okay to mindlessly eat them. They are still full of sugar. Sugar is still going to be bad for you. The only difference is that your body just processes it a little differently, but it's still something that you need to have moderation with. So, so yeah, to have all of these women just come to a consensus to participate in this video and be like, yeah, that's exactly how people who request smaller slices say it, that's just wrong. It's exaggerated and it makes your point just lose credibility and validity, at least in my book. And also, she also said that usually this happens in gatherings where there are women. And I'm like, yeah, because women tend to be the ones who feel insecure all the time and they need validation. I'm not saying that guys never worry about their image or that they never have their moments of insecurity. I'm just saying that women are more vocal about it and more dramatic about it. And that's why we end up with content like this. And oftentimes, what I find is that people normally don't even care about your appearance. They care that you are actually someone who is confident about yourself and you are confident about what you are doing. Confidence is attractive, and normally that's what really impresses someone at first glance. Like, especially if you have something that's working against you, say you live in a society where being in shape is valued, of course, every, like this is one of those societies. If you know that you do not meet that criteria, at least compensate for it by being confident and not trying to demand that you be respected for that, something that you probably absolutely have full control over. I think that is fair. I mean, I don't think that's crazy. It takes work, it takes effort, but it's rewarding. You feel better, you look better, and if that's the way people are wired to think around here and you want to be participating in that, then make yourself fit for, let's call it the competition, finding a mate. It's not too radical if you ask me. It really isn't. And then controlling what you eat is about feeling well and disciplined. It's an important practice. It's important to practice that so that you can avoid being sick. And also, it doesn't mean that these people are just trying to say that a dessert cannot be enjoyable. This the people who ask for a smaller portion, they just know how to practice moderation. That's all that I think. Moderation is important. And then she also proceeded to say that that is actually misogynistic as well. And I'm like, no, how is that expressing, actively expressing hatred toward women? It isn't. You're just trying to find people to support your point when you don't have any validity. And I think that's just wrong. And then she said that the only acceptable answer is to say thank you or no thank you. And I'm like, no, I think the acceptable answer is that people can be like, yes, I would like some cake, but I would like a smaller piece. What is wrong with that? There is nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Your insecurity is creeping on you, and you want for other people to agree with you. That's the impression that I gather. But I may be wrong, and if I'm wrong, then cool, I'm wrong. But honestly, I have seen this behavior repetitively, so I dare to assume that is what's happening. But again, I don't know you, and I don't want to assume things for you, but that's the impression that you are giving me as an audience member. And then, um, normally, the person cutting the cake, in my personal experiences, I am always asked what size I want, what side I want, if I want frosting, if I want vanilla, if I want chocolate. Like sometimes a cake is half and half, like half one flavor, half another flavor. I always get asked, is this piece okay? Is this too much? Is this too little? Would you like more? That is a person who is anticipating your need and is trying to accommodate you. I know I do it when I'm the one who's serving something. That's what I do. Is this okay? Is this too much? Is this too little? That's just someone trying to be nice and considerate to you. There's nothing wrong about that. And the last time that someone cut precisely a cake slice for me, it was actually a guy, and he was asking, is this part okay? And I said, you know what? I would like the part that has more frosting on it. So give me that corner, which means I had two sides that had frosting. And then he was like, sure, it'll be my pleasure. So, see what I mean? It's not even that bad. It's not as bad as you're portraying it. Just trust me. Maybe you just had the misfortune of being in a bad group, but that is not universally the way things go. And I feel like she was trying to say that that's the way things are at every single cake slicing event. Um, and then she also decided to say that this is a sexist culture, which of course I disagree. When there is no hatred toward women like that, especially in this country, because we're one of the most protected groups. We're one of the most privileged groups. We need help, they give it to us. We don't even have to prove our conditions sometimes. We're just assumed to be needy all the time. If that doesn't scream privilege, I don't know what does. And then she also made a comment about the underwhelming romantic options that they explore. And I'm like, what do you mean by underwhelming? Do you mean a guy who is not like swimming in money or something? What makes a dating option be underwhelming for you? Because you're probably looking for someone who can maintain your excess in life. See what I mean? Like, I'm not even trying to be mean, but what I'm trying to illustrate is what are your values to where you find yourself underwhelmed. To me, every single person who I have dated, whether we made it or not, whether it was frustrating or not, they all had something positive about themselves that I was able to explore and appreciate. But for you to say that you are underwhelmed and make it sound like it's a constant thing, maybe you're actually not experiencing a lot of dates and you're just trying to say that somehow, and I don't know, but it doesn't sound like someone who is it sounds like a person who's just really negative. Let's put it that way. Really negative and just a toxic mindset. And maybe she has been frustrated in her experiences thus far, that she wants to just normalize that or try to make it seem like every person who tries to date a guy is going to have that kind of an experience. And I am here to say that is not true. That is not the case. That is not how things go. Guys have good stuff going on for them. And some people will be more compatible with you, some will be less compatible with you. That's why you date and you explore possibilities. And then she proceeded to throw in there the absurdly inexplicable wage gap, something like that. And I'm like, here we go again. There is no wage gap. Like, let's look at her, for example. How much work can you actually do? How much difficult work that pays well can you do and are you willing to do? Are you in the proper shape to be handling some tasks? Because I know that where I work at, there are some folks who do not get specific tasks because it is understood that they may experience some limitations with it. And what but by that I mean the speed may not be the same, their strength may not be the same. So it is not expected from a person with a certain physique to be accomplishing the same stuff as someone who is clearly more capable. Like, I know that I cannot compete against the guys on some other department when they spend 5 days a week lifting stuff. They're going to be stronger than me. And they also happen to be guys. They're naturally stronger than me. I am not going to try to compete against their performance because I know that I will be at a disadvantage. It's not that it's impossible for me to prevail in that department. It's just that I know that given my current shape, I will be struggling to match them. And that's all right. I don't have issues with that. It's okay. No one is actively trying to impede my progress. It's just the way things are, and it makes sense. It's not fair for me to be rewarded when I cannot match the performance and output that is expected of me to be earning like that. See what I mean? But anyways, um, she says also that you need to be more of an ally to women instead of being an ally to the patriarchy and all that. And I'm like, taking care of yourself is actually the best way to be an ally. So what I would say to her is, look, unfortunately, I disagree with you. I think that you're wrong. I think that you need to put a little bit more effort into the decisions that you make and also take care of your body. And that way, your body is going to do you favors and work for you instead of against you. And emotionally, clearly, that affects you because only someone who's not confident in themselves would say such a thing. So, again, you may agree, you may disagree. I'm not trying to say that my point of view is correct. I never try to claim that mine is the flawless opinion and that this is the way it is. I'm not trying to put words in her mouth. This is just my opinion, and this is how I react to her content. But yeah, I'm going to catch up with what you guys have said now. And don't think that I was ignoring you. I just like to get my opinion out first and then catch up with what's happening. Let's see. Garuda says hello. Awesome. Hello, good to see you. And then B617. Oh, cool. He has sent $5 my way. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. She says, love, or he or she says, love your mind and beautiful, humble demeanor, even though you still won't tell me your heritage. Just kidding. You don't want to mess with her. Good afternoon. Hey, legends. I cannot stand the fat acceptance movement. Nobody should make fun of people's weight, but you should not tolerate an unhealthy lifestyle. Exactly. I think that we are beginning to promote that and normalizing something that I think is not correct. We need to be aware of what we're doing with our body and to our body because diseases as a result of poor lifestyle choices are a real thing. And I feel like this person is either unaware of that or in denial. And this day and age, for you to be unaware of that, I sincerely think that you have to be living under a rock and just be severely in denial. I am telling you. Because there is a lot of movements about being in shape and protein this, protein that, and how to lose weight. So it's not a lack of information, all right? It's you are choosing to not do something about it. And as a proactive person that I am, I'm saying this person has control, but she's choosing the easy way out, which is let go of herself. And then let's see. There is nothing wrong with fat shaming. We need to have higher standards in this country. Fat acceptance is all about tolerating and accepting mediocrity and complacency. You know what? On that note, now that you mentioned standards, when it comes to guys, women definitely have standards. Oh, he has to be tall. He has to be muscular. He has to be tan. He has to have blue eyes. He has to have brown hair or something. I don't know. People have their standards. There's personal standards going on. I know even I have them, okay? I'm not going to sit here and laugh. But at least I tend to pay attention to the things that will make me happy in the long run. Because trust me, physical appearance is not going to make me happy in the long run when I know that that is a very temporary thing. So I am not going to focus on that. So in the same manner that we have standards, it's okay for guys to have standards. If a guy doesn't want to be involved with a big ass lady because clearly she is making poor decisions, this guy doesn't have to feel compelled to take care of her medical bills when she starts getting sick. This person eventually may even turn out to be classified as handicapped because there's only so much she can do given her body shape and the diseases associated with it, that the financial burdens on him are going to increase. So, yes, it's okay for this guy to be concerned about the shape of his mate and opt for avoiding that. Now, if this is a lady who is saying that she wants to become better and she's just struggling to fulfill that goal, that's okay. It's all right. I would love for the guy to be more supportive about that. Like, okay, honey, this is what you do. Let's have a workout routine. Let's limit our carbs. Let's limit our sugar. When we go on dates, instead of going out to eat, how about if we cook at home? That's going to be our date. You know, supportive. Supportive. But the guy also has a right to pull away from that if he sees that no reasonable progress is being made. You don't have to be attached to something or someone who's going to make you miserable. You are responsible for your well being. So it's okay to have standards when dating someone. So Zamri, personally, I want to be in good shape for my mate. And not only that, but for my offspring. So I cannot imagine myself being a good, responsible parent if I am not physically capable of taking care of my children. So that is why I spend 2 hours at the gym 5 days a week, and I try to take care of what I eat and be mindful. I don't have a perfect diet, but if I commit a sin, I try to compensate for it. And that's why you see consistency in my body shape throughout every single year. It takes work. There are days in which I do not want to even lift myself from bed, but I still do it. Like, I am sick, I've been having trouble breathing, but yeah, girl still gets her workout done. No excuses. And no, it's not the patriarchy oppressing me. It's just that the fittest are the ones who survive. It's not usually the opposite. So, just saying. This is coming from someone who was 330 pounds in December. I'm down now to 250 pounds and going. You go, dude. I love stories of people who progress. It's really inspiring. No matter how fat I am, you will always find me pretty, right? I mean, damn, my body has gotten big, but I am sure that Zammer is okay with that. Of course I am okay with that. Like, if you're someone who's big, but you have confidence and you're not a negative person, I don't have issues with you. I truly don't. I have issues with the people who try to tell me that I am living my life wrong for living in moderation. Those people I do have problems with. And then he says, just kidding. I actually lost some weight from 235 pounds to 240 to down to 214 pounds. Low carbs, high protein. I try to avoid all sugar. There you go. You understand the trick to being in shape. It's really more psychological than anything because once you eat sweets, you crave them. They're delicious. You crave them like crazy. They're so easy to get. They're usually sweets are just ready to be consumed. You don't need to be prepping that. Whereas a salad, I looked at this on Twitter. A salad takes so long to eat. I thought it was me being like crazy or something. But yeah, salads are just difficult. They're crunchy and you don't want to like smother them with dressing because that has a lot of fat and whatnot in it. But it's true. It's time consuming to eat a salad. So in a situation like that, what people are going to do is probably settle for a donut as a replacement of a meal. And when you eat a donut, it has no nutritional value whatsoever. Whereas your little salad does have nutritional value. It just takes time. It's psychological. You have to train your mind to make the better choice and not be satisfied with something that's just easy and convenient. You know, later is when you're going to suffer the consequences. And then I cannot feel any sympathy for you because you deliberately made that choice. And if you hear any noise, I'm sorry. Mom is just shuffling stuff around. Um, Let's see. Everything is misogyny nowadays. Shake my head. I was in a live stream where the host said porn is misogynistic. I challenged him on it and he couldn't explain the answer. You go, dude. Tell them why it's not misogynistic. I love the corner slices with frosting and I love cold cake. I have been thinking about those cakes that have like ice cream in the core. Ugh, you just reminded me of that. Rice is all you got. I'm trying to get down to 200. Chicken, vegetables, boiled egg, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, low fat, apple juice, sugar free, bananas, fish. Stuff like that is my common diet. Yes, eating fish as your source of protein makes all the difference in the world. Get them omegas. And I would like to rotate from each. I would only try to have, oops, this thing scrolled. La. I lost my place. Common diet. Okay. One meal is day with maybe a small snack later, but the meal can't be bigger than my hand. You know what? That makes a lot of sense. That's a really good way to go about it. Sometimes what I like to do is if I'm going to get snacks that are carby, I like to get them in bulk so I can control the scoop and separate it into different containers with just the serving that it takes. Kind of like portion control it. Because I know that if I put it all in one big container, all of it is going to be gone in one sitting. And what I like to do is I like to do 2 days of fish and then 5 days of beef and then 2 days of just having absolutely plant based stuff. So usually what I do is I pick like a what is it alternating day. So I may do Monday is beef, Tuesday is um, fish, salmon. Wednesdays tend to be chicken. Thursdays tend to be salmon again. And then beef on Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday is when I do a more plant based source, um, which is my protein shake, but loaded even more. Um, and then I do coconut milk completely, like dairy free options, put it that way. And I feel a whole lot better. Like my body really, it's not that I work on my body, it's like my body works for me. It used to be that I had to work for my body to be alright, and now it's like my body just takes care of stuff on its own. It's amazing. So as to avoid a large plate of food can feed four people. Let's see. Interesting. It says that my boy B617's comment was held for review for some reason. And I'm trying to see it, and I don't see anything offensive about it, so YouTube is tripping. Same, I eat a lot of chicken, turkey, egg, white fat-free yogurt, tomatoes, whole wheat bread, and some potatoes. Yeah, what about that comment was offensive, YouTube? Seriously, just keep it together. Yes, I eat one meal a day and work out 4 to 5 days a week. I work out once a week trying to get into jogging every day. Geek says, oh, awesome. another guy who spoiled me. Thanks a lot. Hey Zam, I hope your days have been pleasant and productive. You should go see the Crazy Rich Asians movie. It was a very pleasant surprise. I have been hearing a lot about it, commercials about it everywhere, trending on Twitter all the time. So now that you mention it, I will consider it. Good point on health. With the $10 you just made somebody buy me a Wendy's, a number three triple with cheese and fries and a Dr. Pepper. Sure, I shall take you out on a Wendy's date, I guess. YouTube Super Chat takes 30% of money she receives. I heard something about that, that it takes some of it away. And then it makes sense because it's like sometimes I look at the analytics on the video and I'm like, why is it only showing like $7 or something? But I mean, at the end of the day, whatever I make on ads, it's like, let's say that on this video without the donations or anything, let's say that I would have made $1. If I remember this right, YouTube, no matter what, keeps 50% of revenue. So technically, I still make 50%. I mean, it's all right. I'm not tripping. Even though I don't get the whole value of what you guys send me or what the revenue um, gives me, it's something. And I'm not complaining. I never even thought that when I started the channel, I didn't know that you could make money on YouTube. And now that I make a few dollars here and there, it's like I'm just grateful for it. It's something. So, it's all right. It's all right. I'm not tripping. But while we're at it, hi Miss Pamela. Have I missed you or have I just not noticed you? But it's good to see you. Um, and a good way to end that day will be sitting at the park while eating a number three Wendy's meal while watching others jog at the same time, making eye contact with the joggers when you run by me. What, 30%? That's messed up. Yeah, but if you think about it, I'm still getting 70%. It exceeds half of it. Um, but people keep talking about this thing called Patreon, which back in the day I set one up just to see what it was like. Because when I would watch a video, I would see people say donate to my Patreon, and I'm like, what is a Patreon? So I made one, but I have not been to the page ever since because I didn't even think that I would have anyone watching me. So if you guys really, really, really want to just really badly get to me on that, then I guess I could set up that Patreon. And I don't know if Patreon at least lets you keep 100% of it, but if you guys really feel compelled to do that for me, then let's find the alternative and let's stop funding the stuff that takes away from creators. But seriously, I don't mind. It's the sole fact that you have the intention of sending money my way when I feel like what I do is not like laborious enough for me to earn it, I feel kind of bad, but anyways, it's up to you guys. You guys let me know. La da la da la da la. Yeah, YouTube is above you. Oh, that's funny. Agreed, there is a huge double standard with men and women having preferences. I meant to say I went from 240 to 214. Good progress in my book. My goal is to be 165. I am 5'7". I am 5'7" too. And if you wonder how much I weigh, I have not checked, but I feel like I am at 130. And I want to be 135, but lean muscle. Which I know that's not what I have going on right now. But back in 2013, I was fluctuating between 217 and 221. And I felt like I was a feather. So I'm like, no, I want to get a little heavier because I felt like that wasn't the proper weight for me to be. So, but yeah, I wish my girlfriend had conversations like you. I swear it's psychological. There is a rush like high when I used to consume fatty foods and sugars in bulk. I barely chew my food. When I eat, I look like I'm like a starving wolf eating. Highlighter, good. I barely chew, so it's a habit I formed when I was fat. I'm a fast eater. You know what? I used to be a fat eater at work because trust me, 15 minutes is not enough time. A 15-minute break is simply not enough time. But But the problem with that is the older I get, the more problems I have with my acid reflux. So I absolutely just have to eat slow. So anytime I go out and I have lunch with someone, I'm like, are we in a hurry? Please tell me we're not in a hurry because I need to eat slowly. And always, 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 whoever is with me, they are finished so before I am. And I feel bad. And then they look at me and they're like, you're trying to rush, aren't you? It's okay. We have time. This is our time. You don't have to rush. But I feel bad. I don't like to keep people waiting. Um, we look like we are inhaling our food. Vacuum it. Also, sub out carbs as much as possible. I'm trying to eat lettuce wraps instead of subs. My mother started to do that, and she says that she loves it. I'm gonna send you 50 cents. Awesome. That is going to be what's that thing that I ate the other day? Frosty. That's frosty money right there. It's awkward sometimes when you eat in a social setting when you have to force yourself to eat slower. Hi Pamela, what TV show is your favorite? Uh, TV show? I don't have a favorite TV show because I sincerely don't watch TV. The last TV show that I remember actively watching was Bait Car. Something like that. It's where policemen take a car and they just ditch it somewhere to see if anyone tries to steal it, and then that's how they bust people. It was a pretty fun show, but I guess if I think about my past, cartoons. So stuff like Tom and Jerry was good, and Dexter's Laboratory was good, stuff like that. But yeah, when it comes to more modern shows, I don't have any. I literally do not watch any TV. I must send you an I owe you in your Patreon, Sammy. Oh my goodness. Well, guys, I guess we covered the topic, and I'm pretty much bait car. I can't remember. I remember that show. Yeah, bait car. That's what it was called. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Comment disappeared because I'm logged out of my computer. Okay. I remember that show, kind of a metaphor for my relationship with women. More. But all right. Yeah, you guys. I believe that I am done here. I'm going to bail on you now because there's some take care of. YouTube has to replace TV for me. Exactly, that too. Between YouTube and Twitter and all that, I am more of a reader and more of a listener of non-mainstream stuff than actual TV shows. And it's also a cheaper option because I don't need to have cable at home. I do absolutely everything that pertains to online activities, except for work when I'm at work. Everything that I do online is from my phone. So it doesn't make sense for me to have cable when I can watch the stuff that is put on cable at my convenience. That's right, I'm gonna take over this chat when Zemri logs off. All right. Well, you be that chat king, Wolfus, Mr. Lurk. All of you in this chat will be mine. Well, if you insist. All right, guys. See you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.